Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the book Atomic Habits and how you can implement that into your life as soon as possible. Now, Atomic Habits is James Clear's book, a New York bestseller that touches upon the topics of how to make habits and how to stick to them. Now, let's start off with the basics. What is a habit? A lot of people have this misconception that in order to stick to a habit, you need pure willpower and strength of character, whatever. That is true in some sense, but for the most part, really, a habit is something that you're used to doing and something that your brain can't go without. So basically, one of the biggest narratives of this book is that willpower is not the number one necessity. In fact, if you base your habits off willpower, you're very likely to drop that habit in some time because not because you're weak in some way, not because you're not mentally strong, not because you're disciplined, not necessarily because you're undisciplined, but it's about the fact that you're making the habits ineffective and therefore sticking to that habit won't be as easy. So, what are the four laws of habit formation? The first one is make it obvious. Make the habit obvious. Also, if you look down here, you can see that the basic human behavior when it comes to actions and habits goes like this: cue, action, reward. Cue is something that reminds you of the action and reminds you that you have to take the action. And the reward is something that rewards you of the action and makes you want to take the action again. You have to create yourself a cue of the action, create yourself a cue of the habit. For example, you want to run every day for 30 minutes, or you want to study every day for at least an hour. How do we do that? How do we make that habit stick? Well, first off, you have to make it obvious in your everyday life. Okay, the second law of habit formation is make it attractive. Now, even if you do have, for example, a notebook on your table, and as soon as you come home from school, you get reminded of the fact that you have to study, you might as well ignore it, okay? Because it's not attractive to you. Like, studying, for the most part, is probably not attractive to anyone else, especially if you have to study. Like, for me, chemistry, physics, I hate those subjects. I do not want to study them. You have to make it attractive. It's very unattractive because you think the word is, because you think the action is not gonna reward you. You're not gonna be rewarded for that. You're gonna regret studying that because who would like spending 5 hours of their time studying chemistry, a subject that you hate? Well, you have to make it attractive. Now, what do I mean by that? There are some ways to make a habit attractive. The first one being is that you have to work on your identity. Okay, you have to make identity-based habits. For example, let's say that you want to lose 10 pounds in a month. That's a really big goal. You might as well not do it because it's not about you, okay? You want to do this just for the sake of it, not for becoming the person that you want to be. Or, for example, you want to drop smoking. You don't want to smoke anymore. And if you want to drop smoking just for the sake of doing it, you're probably not going to succeed. So, let me tell you why. This is based off of your identity. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but everything you do is based off what you think you are. So, for example, if you actually want to drop smoking, maybe the way you think about it is not the simple way of like, I want to drop smoking in a month. No, maybe you should look at it from a different angle. I don't smoke. I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that treats his health right. I'm the kind of person that does not smoke because it's not for me. Now, identity. You have to change your identity, and you're probably gonna. Or I didn't really deliver the message very well, but if you do end up reading the book after this video, you're probably going to understand the idea better than I explained here. So, the third law of habit formation is make it easy. Now, I'm gonna give you a really easy example. You want to hit the gym 3 times a week, but what if it's really hard? What if every time after work you have to go to the gym, and to do that you have to drive like 10 miles to the gym? Now that's crazy. That's gonna take a lot of your energy, a lot of your time, and probably you might as well regret it sometimes. Well, it's because you have to make it easy. Or maybe you want to work every day for an hour. It would be very difficult to work every day for an hour in the living room where there's so much noise, where there's like kids running around and making it hard for you. Why would you do that if it's hard for you? It's really hard. And if you know, our brains are wired to do the easy things and the easiest things that give us dopamine. So this is why you have to make your habits easy to do. You just have to make it easy. You just have to isolate yourself or pick the time where nobody's distracting you. Pick the time where you feel best, where you feel most energized. And so the fourth law of habit formation goes like this: make it satisfying. Now, when it comes to most of the good habits that will compound in a few years and will significantly improve your life, they're not really that satisfying in the short run. For example, working out 3 times a week is not really satisfying because you don't see the results until like in up to 6 months. You're not going to see any results, so that's why it's not satisfying. But what about the bad behaviors? What about the bad habits like binge eating, scrolling YouTube for hours on end? It's very satisfying in the short run. You're gonna regret it like in a couple of weeks that you didn't study for the exam because you were watching too much YouTube, watching too much Netflix, or partying too much. Because in the long run, it's not a good behavior, but in the short run, it gives you a lot of dopamine and a lot of satisfaction. But the habits that are really good, like working out, studying, taking care of your family, taking care of your mental health, meditating, anything like this, they're not really satisfying in the short run because you're not seeing any results. You could have been doing something more fun than that, okay? But James Clear has a solution for it. You have to make the habit satisfying in the short run. Now, probably it's obvious for some of you guys, but some of the easiest examples of the fourth law of habit formation could be like maybe after a good 5 hours of studying, you can reward yourself with going to a party or watching your favorite movie. That's the reward that you get instantly after the behavior. Um, Also, you don't really have to make the reward very material. You don't have to like buy an ice cream after a studying session. That's not necessary. You don't have to spend money on it. Maybe you can make that reward mental, and every time you complete one habit, you point that out. So that's really satisfying, especially in a few days when you see a straight line of habits that you didn't skip. That's going to be very satisfying to you mentally. The reward doesn't necessarily have to be a material one. Now, all in all, I really recommend you guys read this book because it can change your life drastically if you implement the tips in the book into your life. And I wish you luck. Wish you have a good read. Everyone, have a good day. So, most of the good habits and most of the behaviors that are good for you, they're not really that rewarding. They're not really that. Okay, you stupid motherfucker. This is so dumb, man. Oh, here it is. Now, here are some quick things that I've read in Atomic Habits. Some of them are: you don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. No, I don't want to talk about that.